Hey guys, today we are on page 375. We are doing Module 14, Lesson 4, Separate Parts of the Same Whole. So today we're doing subtraction. And today's objective is to show subtraction of fractions with visual models and use words to describe the difference. So, our scenario is Ruby cuts off part of this piece of wood for a craft. How much of the original piece of wood does she now have for another project? So her piece of wood starts off at 5-6 yards. So she has 5-6, but then she cuts off 2-6. How can you represent this scenario using a visual model? So I'm going to draw a picture, and I'm going to start, since we're doing subtraction, I'm going to start in the hole. I'm going to start with a rectangle. I'm going to put one hole at the top, and then I'm going to separate my fractions. So 1 yard. Doing it yards. And then we're going to make 6 sections. I'm going to cut that in the middle, put 3 on this side, 3 on this side. So this is going to be 1 6, 2 6, 3 6, 4 6, 5 6, and 6 6. Alright, so this is how can you represent this scenario using a visual model? If we had 5 6, so let's shade in 5 6, because we did not have an entire one whole yard. So we have 1 6, 2 6, 3 6, 4 6, 5 6, but then he cuts off 2 6. So we're going to mark it out. We're going to put an X on it. That's how we're going to subtract. So we cut off 2 6. How much does he have left? Well, he has 3 6 pieces left. So we can say 5 6 subtract 2 6 equals to 3 6 yards. On the next page, and remember to pause it at any time if you're still writing notes. Okay, so on the next page, it says Ruby has 9/12 yard of red ribbon, and it shows the ribbon here on top of a piece of wood. She needs a piece that is 2/12 yard long to twist across a board. If Ruby cuts off what she needs, how much ribbon will she have for another project? So it's asking us how much she has left. Use a fraction model. Use a fraction model to represent and then solve the problem. So let's draw the same thing we had. We're going to start with what one whole would look like. So when we're comparing it using 12. So we have 1 yard again. Cut it in half. So I got to make this, wow, I got to make this 6s. So we need 3 sections here, 3 sections here. So that's my middle piece. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to cut this in half and then make this section 3, and this section 3. So let's count, make sure I have it right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Good. So this is going to be 1/12, 2/12, 3/12, 4/12, 5/12, 6/12, 7/12, 8/12, 9/12, 10/12, 11/12, and 12/12. So that would be if we have a whole. I'm going to slow down right here because I'm assuming at home you are still writing. Okay? We have 1 yard, and then I divided that 1 yard into 12ths, and that's when I drew my fraction model. So Ruby has 9/12 yard of red ribbon. So we'll shade it in red. Okay? So she doesn't have an entire yard, she only has 9/12. Okay? So I'm going to shade in 9 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's how much Ruby has. She needs a piece that is 2/12 yard long. So we want to take away 2/12. So if we're cutting off 2/12, I'm going to just put an X through it. Let's do it in a different color. We'll do it in blue. So there's 1/12, 2/12. How much ribbon will she have for another project? So let's look at the questions. How does your fraction model represent the change in length? Well, I shaded 9/12. So I shaded 9/12. And then I crossed off 2/12. I crossed off 2/12. It's supposed to be 12. It's an F, 12ths, 12ths. I haven't spelled 12ths in a long time. B, how does your fraction model represent the remaining length? Well, our model shows that we had 9/12 and we crossed off 2, so the part that is shaded and not crossed off, so the part shaded and not crossed off, so this right here represents the remaining length. So, the part shaded and not crossed off represents the remaining. How long will the leftover ribbon be? Well, we know that we have 9/12, take away 2/12 equals to 7/12. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It will be 7/12 yard. 7/12 yard long. So if you're still writing, pause your video. If you're finished, turn the page. So on the next page, Ruby has 2/3 yard of string. And here's our string over here on the side. Something like that. She has 2/3 yards of string. She only needs 1/3 yard to tie a knot. How much string will Ruby have after she cuts off 1 yard? Write an equation to model the situation. Use S for the amount of string left. So let's draw a model. So we're going to start with 1 hole. And it's still in yards. We have 1 yard up top. And we're counting by thirds. So this one's pretty easy. That's not perfect. But we have 1/3, 2/3, and 3/3. Alright, write an equation to model the situation. Use S for the amount of string left. Well, she has 2/3. So 2/3 take away 1/3 equals to how many thirds? She should have 1/3 yard left. Alright, use a fraction model to represent the amount of string Ruby has. Change your fraction model to represent the amount of string she uses to tie a knot. Draw a visual representation of how you found the solution. So I kind of already drew this. We're doing the same thing. So if Ruby has 2/3 yards, we're going to shade in 1/3 and 2/3. And how much does she need? She needs 1/3. So we're going to X it out. And then it shows us what's left. So it says, how much string does Ruby have left? Well, Ruby has 1/3 left. So 1/3 yard is left. Okay, so as long as we're working with like denominators, the adding and subtraction fractions is pretty easy. What I want you to do is try number 1 and 2 under check understanding. So pause your video, do 1 and 2, and start your video back. Alright, question number 1. Michael has 3/4 cup of flour. He used 2/4 cup in a recipe. How much flour does Michael have now? So you should have drawn a fraction model. If you didn't draw a fraction model, pause your video again, draw the fraction model, and then start it back. Okay, so if Michael had, so let's start with 1 cup. So we have 1 cup to compare it to. We're going to split it in 4s. So let's cut it in again. So this is fourths. Michael had 3/4 cup of flour. So let's shade in 3. 1, 2, 3. That's fourths. He used 2/4 cups. So he used this and he used this. How much flour does Michael have now? Well, he had 3/4. Subtract 2/4 equals to 1/4 cup left. So Michael has 1/4 cup left. Number 2, Bryn has 5/10 of a book left to read. She reads 2/10 more of the book. How much does Bryn have left to read now? Let's do a subtraction equation. So she had 5/10, then she reads 2/10. So how much does she have left? 5 subtract 2 equals to 3/10. She has 3/10 more left of the book to read. And that's it.